So I do get many questions about some of the football trades that I do on Betfair, and I had many asking me about a match I traded involving Bayern Munich where I produced a profit that you can see on screen with a risk of just £25. And in this video, I'm going to explain everything about that particular match from entry point to exit point and give you some hints and tips on how you can spot some similar opportunities when trading football on Betfair, some similar low risk, high reward opportunities. So go grab a cup of coffee or a nice cold beer and let's get into it. So I shared this screenshot on social media after I was trading this match from the German Bundesliga, and I had a lot of questions about it. And this was back in a day when I would share a lot of screenshots on social media. Unfortunately, I only have the final screenshot of this match, so you can see the final profit, because this match ended in a draw, so the final profit was the 4-7-6. And I had a lot of questions about this particular match because it was a 3-3 draw, so a lot of people feel that I must have done multiple trades and I must have been in and out of the market, probably turned my money over 100 times to lock in that profit, especially when I said that my total risk in the market was £25. There was no more money than that risk at all. So yeah, a lot of people were thinking it was some sort of spectacular trade, and yeah, it's going to be a bit of an anticlimax for you because this match was only one trade and one trade only, and you're soon going to see why when I explain what happened. Okay, so the entry point was literally just laying Bayern Munich in the late stages against Dusseldorf. All right, so I managed to lay Bayern Munich at 1.05. Can't remember the precise time, but yeah, 1.05 for a £500 risk. So it's a £500 of profit potential, and it's actually a £25 risk. Apologies there for any confusion. So the risk is £25. My potential win is £500. All right. And obviously you might be thinking, well, okay, why would you lay Bayern Munich? I mean, Bayern Munich were at home. At what point did I lay Bayern Munich? They went 2-0 up, then they went 3-1 up, and all that sort of thing there. And obviously, I mean, why would you lay Bayern Munich as well when they're at home against a team which is not very competitive in the Bundesliga? So yeah, basically what happened, and a lot of people were also asking me if I was watching this match from start to finish. And another thing I can tell you is that I wasn't even watching the match at all. So what happened was this was a Saturday afternoon when you got loads of matches all happening at once. And before I'm going to trade a round of matches, what I usually do is I do some pre-match research on all the matches, and then I've got my notes with pretty much a forecast of what I expect from the match. And so as the goals are going in, then I can quickly consult my notes and just say, if something's not quite right, then maybe I can investigate it more and all that sort of stuff. So for this match, my forecast wasn't very detailed. It looked like it was going to be a routine Bayern Munich win, and I literally had that written down, easy Bayern Munich win. I think they were around 1.15 as the starting price, so they were really short price. I thought it was going to be an easy win for them, but it was such a short price that I wasn't really interested in backing them at 1.15. And to even get a higher price on them in play, you're probably looking until late in the second half for that to even go above evens. So you've got to keep that in mind as well. So it was one of those matches which I really did not expect I was even going to get involved in. So I wasn't even watching it from the kickoff. There was a lot more interesting matches that were happening. But as you do when you trade football, is that you've got to leave these matches on like a website such as Flash Scores, and just see if anything crops up. I mean, if Bayern Munich were to go a goal behind, then maybe there could be an opportunity there, because obviously I've forecast this as being a Bayern Munich win, and then I would investigate it a bit more. But what actually developed was that Bayern Munich went 2-0 up very, very early, as you can kind of see from the demonstration from this little data bar here. They were 2-0 up by like the 20th minute, so I was already thinking, well, okay, all right, just as I thought, easy Bayern Munich win, nothing to see here, right? And then it went to 2-1, right on the half-time mark, and then I thought, that's interesting. They've pulled one back, but yeah, I still don't really see anything more in that, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. And then second half began and Bayern Munich went 3-1 up. So again, I'm like, well, okay, just as expected, Bayern Munich could go on and win this. They're going to go and win this comfortably. And it's at times like this, you're actually tempted to turn off the notifications because you just don't really think there's going to be an opportunity develop. But I always say it's always best to just leave it there and see what happens, right? So obviously the match was in the background. I was trading other matches, watching other matches at the same time. And then it went to 3-2 on 77 minutes. And then, that's when my spidey senses started to tingle a bit, because I thought, that's not right. I forecast this as an easy Bayern Munich win, and it seems like it's been easy. But now it's 3-2 with about 13 minutes left. All right, let me go and take a look. And I believe this match was on the Betfair live video, so it wasn't even too hard to try and find the pictures as well. So there's another lesson for many people. I see many people coming up with the excuse of saying they can't follow the live pictures because, I don't know, because they can't find them. But usually a lot of the matches are actually in the Betfair live video. So it was in the Betfair live video. I pressed play on it, and then I was just watching it for a couple of minutes, and Bayern Munich looked pretty nervy. They looked pretty shaken up by the goal, which obviously made it 3-2. I mean, I hadn't seen what had happened before that, but if I was watching the match and I didn't know which team was which, I would have thought that Dusseldorf were Bayern Munich. So I thought, well, this is not right. Something's definitely not right here. And then I looked at the prices, and Bayern Munich were 1.05 to lay. Now, why were they such a low price? Because they had such a low starting price. Their starting price was 1.15. So naturally, a goal up with about 10 minutes left, they're obviously going to move into a price lower than their starting price, and it was a 1.05 to lay on Bayern Munich. So immediately, I just thought, well, okay, there's definitely an opportunity developing here. And the price is probably the most important thing to consider. If Bayern Munich were 1.25 or 1.75 to lay in this situation, then I'm probably not going to get involved, because Bayern Munich at home don't really give away 2-goal leads like they were eventually going to do in this particular match. So you always have to look at the price and ask yourself, is there any sort of value in this price? Does it represent a good value trade? And now for me, Bayern Munich, 1.05, 10 minutes left. The way they were playing, they looked a bit desperate, a little bit nervy, like they were hanging on. And I just thought, okay, well, there's definitely an opportunity here. Now, Bayern Munich being priced at 1.05, it means the market sees them as 95% likely to win the match from this current position, okay? So 95 times out of 100, according to the markets, they're going to hang on to that 3-2 lead, or maybe even make it 4-2, who knows? But 5 times out of 100, they're going to concede an equalizer. And I figured, from what I was seeing, that this was pretty likely to be one of those 5 times, and it was certainly a bigger chance than 5%. All right, so I got in the market. I just laid Bayern Munich £500, and like I said, it was a £25 risk. And one thing to keep in mind as well is that, obviously, the markets are suggesting that 95% of the time I'm probably not going to be profitable. But with this sort of risk-reward ratio, I only need to be right 1 in every 18 occasions if I'm going to be locking in 476, all right? So, again, that's another question you need to ask yourself. I mean, if it's 1 in every 18 or something similar, are Bayern Munich going to hang on to this 18 times out of 18 based on what you're seeing? And this is what you need to consider. It's based on what you're seeing in this actual moment. So this is all the stuff you need to consider. Now, a lot of people get really confused, and they thought that I was like some sort of madman going in the markets, laying Bayern Munich blindly, and just hoping for the best. Now, of course, you couldn't lay Bayern Munich blindly like this. Every time they hit 1.05, you'd probably go broke, or at least break even in this sort of situation. You have to have real good reason to oppose them. And I always say in the football markets especially, it's very hard to find value opposing these prices once they go below 1.15. 1-0. You really, really need to assess the situation and take every match as it comes, as the cliche says. So remember, I mean, football trading, it's not like playing in a casino or some playing roulette or playing blackjack where the odds are fixed no matter what. Okay, the odds are constantly in favor of the house and there is never any value on offer. Okay, now football trading, there's just so many variables. There's just so many variables. There's so many things that can constantly change. And while Bayern Munich might have been good value for the win at 2-0, at 3-1 and all that sort of thing, clearly something had happened in that final 10 minutes that was making Bayern Munich panic. And all of a sudden, the value for me was on it ending up being a draw. Or not necessarily ending up being a draw, but Bayern Munich conceding an equaliser, because obviously I'm going to lock in a profit once the equaliser arrives. So that's something you have to keep in mind. I am trading. I'm not just having a bet against Bayern Munich, which explains what I did when the equaliser arrived. I mean, the equaliser arrived pretty much in the 90th minute or something like that. And so those who have a betting mindset will probably wonder, well, why did you cash it out? You thought Bayern Munich weren't going to win. Why would you give up the rest of the profit? But as a football trader, you have to anticipate a change in the game dynamic. So while Bayern Munich were winning 3-2, they were really desperate to try and hang on to that 3-2 win. Dusseldorf just had to go for it and try and get the equaliser. So that was the dynamic at that particular point, and that was why I thought there was an opportunity. However, once the equaliser arrived, the game dynamic is going to completely change, and you have to anticipate that, because now Dusseldorf, a point for them is very, very good. A point at Bayern Munich is very good. So now they are going to defend, and Bayern Munich, they don't want to draw at home against Dusseldorf, so they're going to go all out for the winner. And when teams are as strong as Bayern Munich at home, there can be situations where they will get those winning goals. So for me, I always lock in the profit in these sorts of situations, no matter how long it's left, because I've been trading matches involving big teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, and I've done this where they've maybe conceded an equaliser later on, and then it gets into injury time and they go on and score the winner. So again, that was why I locked in the profit. In the end, of course, it finished 3-3, and I had to sacrifice a small bit of my potential profit. But profit potential-wise, I mean, I locked in the vast majority of it. So again, I wasn't exactly losing sleep there. But that just explains why I laid Bayern Munich, and then I immediately locked in the profit. Maybe if there was a bit more time on the clock, I could have played around with it and anticipated that Bayern Munich were going to go for the winner. I could have backed Bayern Munich, put some more profit on them. Could have done that, but the match did finish pretty sharpish soon after that. So that pretty much sums up the trade. It was very simple. It was just in laying Bayern Munich, and then the equaliser arrived. The odds rose up to 55, and the match was pretty much almost finished anyway. So the profit was locked in. I was in and out of the market, I guess, within 10 minutes, I believe. So, that was pretty much it. It wasn't anything too spectacular. But again, hopefully I've given away a lot of the information about why I decided to get in the market in this particular situation. Lay in such a strong team like Bayern Munich, when they're winning at home, obviously you have to expect you're going to lose that sort of trade the majority of the time, but you don't need that many winners, 1 every 18 in this case, to be long-term profitable. And it's not just me catching trades like this. I mean, lots of my members in Ultimate Football Trading, they do this as well. One of my members recently shared this in our live trading room, Ultimate Football Trading, where he spotted a similar opportunity where, again, the odds weren't quite right and the match situation wasn't quite right, and he produced this particular profit with a risk of just £10. So it was like £700 profit with a risk of just £10. And this was a quite remarkable trade, because I know exactly what happened was the away team went 3-0 up, and then the home team actually had 2 men sent off. So they're playing with 9 men, and then they went into 1.01, and then the away team, I mean, I don't know what happened, where there was a brawl or something like that, but the away team also had 2 men sent off. So it was 9 men against 9 men. And I believe the awaiting went into 1.01 to lay at that particular point. But yeah, you have to think about the match dynamic. I mean, how many matches can you ever think of in your life that you've ever watched where it's ended up 9 versus 9? So who knows what is going to happen next? And in my view, you have to kind of start to expect the unexpected. And so big shout out to Christian on this one. He did that. He expected the unexpected. He thought, you know what, 3-0 up, it's 9 versus 9. You never know. There could be something in this. Is 1.01 too short? Is there a good chance that 1.01 is going to trade higher? And he took advantage of that. I'm not going to give away the full method and the full strategy of what he did. That's all inside the course. But again, this is the type of thing you look for. And like I said earlier on in the video, my spidey senses were tingling. And I'm pretty sure Christian's was as well when this particular scenario came up. So on that note, I just want to remind everyone that I am actually going to be opening the doors again for new members to get a chance to join Ultimate Football Trading very soon. At the time of recording this video, I don't have a set date, but if you click the link in the description of this video, you can get on the waiting list and get a chance to join when the next opening up happens. So make sure you put in a good email address that you check regularly. And remember, Ultimate Football Trading, this is everything you need to take your football trading to the next level. A lot more detail than you get on these YouTube videos. You also get an instant portfolio of proven strategies to use. You get all the tools to track your data so you can improve and get better and better. And a helpful community of like-minded football traders to learn from too. So if that takes your interest, definitely check out the link in the description of this video and just get on the waiting list. And then when the doors open up, you can take a look and you can decide whether you want in or not. But let's go back to talking about the trade again. So one thing I just want to say is that when I do these videos, it's not to show off and say, hey, look at me, look at what an amazing trade I did. It's actually, number one, because a lot of you guys request it. You guys want more detail about a lot of the trades and my thinking behind it. And number two, because when I reveal a lot of my thinking behind it, there is an educational element to it as well. So those people who are here for the educational element and for those who want to learn more, then this is the better bit. This is the best bit of the video anyway. So yeah, make sure you keep watching. But obviously, when I do these videos, I get a lot of the trolls telling me, it was just a silly bet. I'm sure there's probably a few people typing that in the comment section right now as well. But yeah, let's ask this question. Was it luck? Tell me what you think in the comment section as well. Now, was it luck? Now, for me, well, the market suggested Bayern were 95% likely to win the match from that particular point. This was in like the 78th minute when I joined the action, okay? I watched it for a couple of minutes. I probably entered the market around 81, 82 minutes after I kind of made my decision. You have to act quick in these. And from me watching the match, I calculated it to be closer to around a 75% chance. So I calculated that the odds were wrong, and I thought there was an opportunity, and that is it. So based on this, can you say it was luck? Can you say it was a lucky bet? Now, if I did this blindly and laid Bayern Munich, didn't know what was going on, crossed my fingers and just hoped for the best, and then I hit the winner, then you could argue it's luck. But when you're taking in all this information, you're really analyzing the match and you're trying to work out if there is maybe a sort of discrepancy in the odds, in the prices that are available, and then you enter the market, then I don't think you can say it was luck. But obviously, there's always going to be people out there that would say that. But one thing to keep in mind as well, another key point, is that, remember, I'm approaching this from the mindset that this is a trade and not a bet. So I was looking to lay Bayern Munich, and if the equalizer arrived, then I'm going to lock in a profit. So one thing to keep in mind, because a lot of people get confused with these videos, is that they think that I'm betting against Bayern Munich, and I'm saying that Bayern Munich are not going to win the match. Now, if I entered the market in 81 minutes like I did, and then Bayern Munich, or Dusseldorf rather, equalized in like the 85th minute, then do you think I'm going to let that run? Of course not. I'm definitely going to lock it in No, I mean, I'm going to lock it in no matter what, but even more so in the 85th minute, because then there's a lot more time for Bayern to go on and get the winner. And like I said earlier on, I mean, I remember in my early football trading days, Man United were like one of the worst teams for this, where they would concede an equaliser and then go on and get the winner in Fergie time, as they used to call it, yeah? So I learned very quickly when you're involved in some of these footballing giants that it's very, very crucial that you lock in that profit. If you're opposing them, they concede an equaliser, be a football trader, lock in that profit. Don't let it run. do not let it run in these situations, okay? And so precisely, remember, I'm approaching this as a trade and not a bet, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? So those who do this as a bet, they're relying on the equaliser, and then they're relying on the underdog to hang on to the result as well. So it's just another example of why football trading for me, especially when it's in play, is the better approach. I do feel if you're going to have a bet, then maybe just have the bet before the match kicks off, and then walk away and don't touch anything, and just see if you can beat the markets on the starting prices. But once you get in play and there's all sorts of stuff moving around, you're better off being a trader. And hopefully that's why you're here watching this video. And of course, again, the big key point is always ask yourself, is there value in what you're doing? Like I said, Bayern Munich were 1.05. So for me, it looked like a great price to be opposing. If they were 1.15, which was their starting price, then, it's a different decision to have to make. Who knows? Who knows what I would have done in that sort of situation if it even went to 1.05. So there is that as well. Always ask yourself, is there value in what I'm doing? Is there some sort of difference in the price from what the markets are offering and from what I perceive? So keep that in mind as well. Another key point is that you cannot plan for these trades. Now remember, like I said, I had my forecast. I expected it to be an easy Bayern Munich win. I really did not wake up that morning thinking, you know what? I'm going to lay Bayern Munich if their price hits 1.05 later on. That was definitely not in my notes. And another key thing to take from this is that as a football trader, this is what you need to do. You need to be dynamic, and you need to expect the unexpected, and you need to have a strategy prepared for when these situations do come up. I see a big bit of confusion, or a big problem for those who come from just a regular betting background, is that they really seem nailed on to want to plan their trades in advance. And one of the big advices I always give is that you can kind of have an idea for what you want to do in play, but you just got to see what happens when the match gets underway, because you get so much more information when the match goes in play, as you've gathered from this video. And on that note as well, like I said, if you're in doubt, look at the live pictures. And for me, the clincher of this trade was when I looked at the live pictures. Now, if I looked at just the statistics, this is definitely not enough to tell me to oppose Bayern Munich. It was only seeing the live pictures and what was going on in that particular moment that showed me that there was an opportunity developing. And I think I do have the statistics from this particular match, okay? Now, look at that. Bayern Munich, very dominant, 79%, 17 shots, 5 of them on target. So if I just looked at that in the final 10 minutes, I wouldn't suddenly think that this match should end in a draw. Although, look at the shots on target for Dusseldorf. It was pretty laid on with Bayern Munich for creating key attempts. So, but either way, I mean, I think if I look at these statistics, I don't know where they were in the final 10 minutes, but it would have been pretty similar to this. I don't think that the statistics are going to tell me to oppose Bayern Munich. You would probably look at that and say, do you know what? They've been pretty much the dominant team. They're probably going to go on and win this. So again, it just shows you why statistics can be great to a certain extent. If you really want to catch these really big opportunities, then I'm a big believer. You got to bring out those live pictures, and you got to have a look at the actual action that is happening on the pitch. So anyway, that is pretty much it. If you've been a subscriber to this channel, you're new to this, then definitely make sure you download this. This is the 7 steps to football trading success. This is a complete freebie, okay? So there's no risk in downloading this, all right? There's a link to this in the description. Click the link, put in your email address, and I'll email you a copy of this. So if you haven't already got this, make sure you grab it. You definitely need this. So yeah, make sure you do that. Link is in the description. I'm going to leave a link to this in the comments section as well. So make sure you go get that. Definitely make sure you go get that. And yeah, if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all the videos. If you like football trading, sports trading, and all this sort of content, then you definitely want to become a subscriber. Okay, so make sure you become a subscriber. And also, while you're here, there's a few other videos that I really think you should check out. So pick one of these videos and I will see you in the next video.